We're a tribe of warriors. In ancient times, we were responsible
Mas então reagir aqui a live da Arroio, que eu não vi, porque eu não acordo cedo. Então eu vou reagir aqui.
for patrolling and defending all.
Deixa eu voltar aqui na tela. E tem mapa novo.
We're a tribe of warriors. In ancient times, we were responsible for patrolling and defending all of Natlan.
So Oj Khan's still managing to sow discord, even after all these years.
If you want to resolve a conflict through dialogue, sometimes you need a third-party facilitator. At this time and place, I'll bet the easiest person to find is...
Esse mapa novo tá lindo, hein? Lembra que eu vou fazer uma live explorando todo ele, hein?
His spirit has gotten lost and can't find its way back to his body.
I just want to rescue someone, and Granny won't let me.
Yeah. 500 years later, mystery surfaced again.
I worry that we risk repeating the mistakes of the Cinder City.
As long as the soul is involved, I should be able to help. Be free!
Take me up!
Time to say hello.
Knock him down.
It's either your end or mine!
Before the final moment truly arrives, we must fight harder than ever.
Yeah, cuckoosaurs are the job was to detect threats, disseminate intel, and quickly. Yeah, cuckoosaurs quickly cover great horizontal role in midair. Yeah, cuckoosaurs are the proudest out of all the saurians. They know that they're the kings of the sky. Cuckoosaurs can consume phlogiston to climb higher or perform a horizontal roll in midair. Holding the sprint button allows them to enter an accelerated glide state after a horizontal roll. In addition, they can even use phlogiston wind tunnels to quickly cover great distances.
Okay, so I'm assuming that cuckoosaurs are really hard to tame.
Yeah, that's true. You need to prove yourself in some worthwhile feat, like demonstrating exceptional archery skill during flight. That's the only way to become a true cuckoosaur.
Alright.
The Flower Feather clan use a special item to summon their cuckoosaurs.
Oh.
Abyssal power at flying.
Wow.
And control her combat experience from her saurian childhood. When Chaska is in your party, defeating monsters will restore phlogiston to your party. While she's in the Night Soul's blessing state, Chaska can ride and control her gun like a cuckoosaur. The Soul Sniper doesn't just increase her movement speed and resistance to interruption, it also allows her to get a better angle on her enemies.
Wow, that mid-air perspective is so cool. It seems so liberating.
Yeah, and Chaska's fierce when she's in the zone. In the Night Soul's blessing state, Chaska's normal attacks deal animo damage to enemies in front of her. Unleashing a charged attack in this state will cause Chaska to enter a special aiming mode. This allows her to lock onto a set number of enemies within range and fire up to 6 Shadow Hunt shells, which deal animo damage upon impact. In addition, for every Pyro, Hydro, Cryo, or Electro character in your party, one of Chaska's Shadow Hunt shells will undergo an elemental conversion to deal the corresponding type of elemental damage.
Whoa, no way! So Chaska can directly deal other types of elemental damage based on the characters in her party. And since she's an animal character, she can swirl them at the same time. That's awesome!
Yeah, I know, right? Her elemental burst has a similar function too. Chaska fires a gale-splitting Soul Seeker shell during her burst, which deals animo damage. The attack then splits into 6 Soul Seeker shells, which continue to attack nearby enemies. These shells can also undergo elemental conversions.
That's so cool! No wonder she's one of the strongest warriors in her tribe.
Speaking of her tribe, the warriors from the Flower Feather clan are formidable for sure, but we should also shed some light on those who aren't as skilled.
Oh, are you talking about the wingless? That's what the tribe calls.
That be sure definitely. And they'll need the traveler's help to find a solution.
What kind of crisis?
Well, the Flower Feather clan suffered the worst of the abyssal damages the mind.
That's one
Here seem
from the Stadium of the Sacred Flame and go past the towering walls, you eventually arrive at the settlement of the mysterious Masters of the Nightwind. The tribal settlement offers a unique glowing landscape at night. If you venture even further, then you might encounter the
Não tá notificando, mas eu não posso fazer nada.
tribe's Wath Ictomisaur Elder, or one of the many shamans who can communicate with spirits. I even heard that the witch doctors who live there can help cleanse your spirit. Plus, the graffiti art is really incredible. In fact, there's something special about this one. Can you figure it out, travelers? It's kinda tricky, right? Well, don't worry, the Ictomisaurs can help us out. Ictomisaurs are known for their wisdom. They can use their unique sight to detect things that can't be seen through normal means.
Whoa, okay.
Right. Ictomisaurs are especially skilled at detecting ley lines and phlogiston. They can absorb power from phlogiston objects to enhance their abilities. Doing so allows them to jump higher, move faster, or even obtain surprising rewards. Ictomisaurs can also extract information from graffiti art to create special objects.
Oh, I bet that'll come in handy for solving puzzles.
Definitely, especially in Tribal Chronicles Mictlan, which will become available in version 5.2.
Swords can perform fast-paced jumps.
Auroron can do it too. Like the Ictomisaurs, Auroron has the ability to rise into the air. He also has a keen sense of perception. While charging an aimed shot, Auroron will enter the Spirit Speaker state, allowing him to extract power from Natlan's graffiti and runes.
Speaking of Auroron, I was honestly super surprised by his personality.
Shot, Auroron will enter the Spirit Speaker state, allowing him to extract power from Natlan's graffiti and runes.
Speaking of Auroron, I was honestly super surprised by his personality. Before the 5.1 Archon quest, I thought that he looked like
right? The tribe's people
his own way.
depend on the Night Soul's Blessing state to gain Night Soul points, and he can maintain the Night Soul's Blessing state even while he's off-field.
Ah, that does sound different from the other Natlan characters. So how do his abilities work?
Let me start by explaining how Auroron gains Night Soul points. This can happen in multiple ways. For example, Auroron can gain Night Soul points when one of his party members triggers a Night Soul burst. He can also gain them when other party members deal Hydro or Electro attacks to enemies after Auroron unleashes his elemental skill.
Oh, then it sounds like he works well with Hydro and Electro characters.
Yep. And in combat, when enemies take damage from electro-charged reactions or other party members deal Night Soul aligned damage, Auroron can consume Night Soul points to enter the Night Soul's Blessing state and trigger the Hypersense effect, dealing electro damage.
Oh, I see. So you need to pair him with the right characters if you want him to gain Night Soul points, enter the Night Soul's Blessing state, and trigger the effect.
Exactly. Though I should mention that Auroron doesn't need to be on the field to trigger the Hypersense effect.
Wait, he can trigger it even while he's off-field? That sounds really useful.
Totally. His Elemental Burst provides a convenient way to deal damage and support your party. Auroron performs an ancient and speaking of making things his friends with a little teamwork on
In this update plan.
Oh, it looks completely abandoned. Is it dangerous?
Yes, this is a restricted area in that land due to its severe abyssal contamination, and it seems uninhabited. Over the years, many adventurers have come here in search of treasure or to slay the dragon. Unfortunately, none of them have ever returned. The Flower Feather clan often sends riders to patrol the area and to prevent people from getting too close.
Wait, did you say slay the dragon?
Yeah, I know we introduced some adorable saurians earlier, but this creature is actually really terrifying. It occupies this ancient city and guards it fiercely. If it detects an intruder, then it will attack without hesitation.
Okay, that's pretty concerning.
It's easy to take human-Saurian coexistence for granted these days, but it actually took generations of effort to reach this point. This relationship wasn't nearly so harmonious in the ancient past. Travelers will need to explore Ochkanatland to uncover the reason behind this dragon's rampage. Of course, travelers won't have to do this alone. Here, take a look.
Oh, what's that?
This is a very important companion who will help us explore Ochkanatland. His name is Kokoik. As for his power, well, why don't you take a guess?
Okay, is he our moral support? You know, maybe he could make a cute noise every now and then to cheer us up.
Hey, let's not put our Tapetlosaur friend out of a job. Little one works really hard.
Okay, then I've got nothing.
Remember how I mentioned that Ochkanatland is heavily corroded by the abyss? Well, that's where Kokoik comes in. We can use his power to clear abyssal contamination. Follow the direction indicated by his light to collect secret source scraps and enhance his power. Once Kokoik has enough power, you can take him to track down the evil dragon.
What a useful little guy.
I know, right? Now, travelers can explore Ochkanatland with two companions, Kokoik and Little One. In fact, I've heard there's even a special token around here that can enable Little One to traverse a volcano. A new adventure with Little One awaits in version 5.2. This update will bring us one step closer to uncovering the mysteries of Little One's past. Familiar Saurian companions can also help us explore Ochkanatland. For example, with the help of a Kaholasaur, we can evade source mechanism attacks. With the help of an Ikitomisaur, we can solve certain puzzles. With the help of a Kukusaur, we might even be able to chase down the evil dragon.
Isso aqui eu achei da hora, mano. Vou lá os patos, mano. Nossa, mano. Essa tá muita exploração, cara.
But we'll leave the rest for you to discover, travelers.
Wait, are those some kind of lava fish? Does this mean we can fish in Netland?
Yes, but I've got some friendly advice, travelers. You should be very careful while exploring Ochkanatland. Some of the abyssal monsters here can distort their appearance to mimic powerful enemies. High-level monsters such as the tenebrous Papilla can mimic even stronger
É o bom lá de Liu, só que cor roxa, mano.
enemies.
Huh? It looks like these monsters take the form of plants outside of combat.
Yep, that's true. The Abyss has corroded Natland's ley lines, allowing these monsters to read the memories inside of them and mimic creatures from Tevat.
How do we defeat them?
Travelers will need to use elemental attacks to break the enemy's protective void wards. Doing so allows them to take damage and causes them to enter a brief state of confusion. Night Soul aligned elemental attacks are especially effective against these wards.
Wow, the Abyss has gotten so advanced. It's scary to think about how much harder these fights will get if these abyssal monsters continue to evolve.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a lot of information to take in at once, but before we take our first
Só mapa novo e boneco novo, cara. Não tô tão hypado, cara.
break, we still have a couple of short announcements. Really short, I promise. First up, limited time exploration rewards will be available in version 5.2, just
Tem troféu novo, não? Vai ter troféus, né?
like in version 5.1, to introduce Smidge and 2 new Natland specifics. And in the second half of version 5.2, we'll have a returning event forward to event wishes from Gems. And the rewards will be available all the way through version 5.3. It's now time to introduce the event wishes. In the first half of version 5.2, travelers can look forward to event wishes from Chaska and Lenny. Auroron will also receive a drop rate boost. And in the second half of version
Mano, finalmente, depois de muitos anos, eu esperei por esse momento, cara. Finalmente, oficial, ó. Fala que não é oficial, mano. Bora, bora.
version 5.2, we'll have returning event wishes for Zhongli and New Villette. The weapon banner will feature a new 5-star bow, Astral Vulture's Crimson Plumage, and 2 new Natland-specific 4-star weapons. Be sure to check them out if you're interested.
All right, it's time for our first break. Once we come back, we'll dive right into the event portion. seeking scrolls. Travelers will team up with Citlali and Auroran to get to the bottom of a mysterious accident.
Perhaps woven scrolls, and gather lost spirits scattered throughout the region. Travelers will only be able to uncover the truth if
With this event, it looks like Citlali definitely person show spirits into specific zones to earn points. Pay attention to the conditions on the field if you want a higher score. For example, travelers can jump on stone slabs that appear on the field. These slabs will break open and release even more spirits. Storms may also appear during the game.
teams to complete the objectives.
Paint really matches the Masters of the Night Wind's aesthetic. It's super cool.
Yeah, and so does the Spirit Loom in restoring fragmented records.
Quebra-cabeça? Porra, inventinho de criança, mano.
Lali will use her powers to reveal special fragments. Travelers will need to piece these fragments together and assemble them on a woven scroll.
Make sure that you pay attention. The design definitely fits the Masters of the Night Wind. Else that we should mention. Travelers can obtain a new 4-star sword by completing this event. The design definitely fits the Masters of the Night Wind. It looks like some kind of ceremonial artifact.
I totally agree. Oh, and this event will allow travelers to learn more about Natlan's secrets. For example, this quest will reveal new clues about a mysterious and legendary place, the Mare Javari.
Wow, we've been hearing about this place since Mondstadt. It'll be nice to get some new information. On a related note, the Adventurers Guild has prepared a new trial for its members. Active adventurers have been invited to take on the challenge, including the Traveler. Travelers will need to complete various challenges with designated characters and
Conducting a war game to improve security changed this time.
Vai dar muita gemistorização, mano.
Travelers will need to select the combat units and stratagem and progresses, select the rewards. Tactics, double damage.
Eu não gosto do TCG, galera. Sinto muito, mas eu zerei o TCG pra pegar. Mas o TCG não.
That sounds powerful. Whoa, it's automated.
Isso aí, mano.
Cool. The elemental reaction effects are completely different.
Aquele jogo lá de carta.
this brand new heated battle mode is called off depending on how you.
Wow, it's
I really
a little cooped up. Need to help.
Só isso?
Once the animals are safe and need to help Lamia track down some adopted animals. Travelers will be able to see the animal's point of view by using a special tool. Once you've managed to deduce their location, you'll be able to track them down. Once the animals are safe and sound, travelers will receive a gift from the mysterious figure who adopted them. I feel like Auroran would really shine in this event. He's definitely an animal lover.
I can see that. I'm sure that he would jump at the chance to meet animals from other nations.
Alright, let's dive in a challenge and have to reopen the Fantasia Tome. Now, after finishing a battle, and for all the generous travelers who like to supporting cast the screen, elemental filtering, the
Occasionally put together
on how to counter enemies, but in a much
elements work best against.
valuable feat on when you obtain them, from the most recent to the oldest. Second, the animations for crafting materials, forging weapons, building furniture, and cooking dishes. 5.2. You can outsort 5-star artifacts in your inventory based on when you obtained them, from the most recent to the oldest. Second, the animations for crafting materials, forging weapons, building furniture, and cooking dishes are now shorter in length.
That's really nice. The dev team designed a lot of intricate animations for these features, but it can feel a bit frustrating when you have to watch them over and over again.
There will also be several optimizations for the Serena Teapot. The seed dispensary can now hold more of every type of seed. You'll be able to purchase wood at the Realm Depot in exchange for Realm currency. In addition, the cooldown for the boon of the Elder Tree will be reduced to 5 seconds
It'd be really
of every type of. This way, it will be easier for travelers to collect wood.
awesome. I've been meaning to use some cool replicas in my Serena teapot, but I'm always short on wood. So this should be really helpful.
Nice! I'm so excited. Single click. Just hit Use Recommended Settings and you're set. The recommended set lock plans will even update automatically based on popular in-game configurations. Of course, if you have your own ideas in mind, then you can always disable the recommended plans to configure custom ones instead.
The update also allows you to batch lock artifacts in your inventory based on the recommended general lock plan and set lock plans. This will make it much faster to organize your inventory. In addition, a shortcut button that navigates to the Lock Assistance interface will be added to the Artifact Domain Challenge screen and the Artifact Acquisition screen. This should make it easier for travelers to configure their locking rules whenever they want. A star feature will also be added next to the lock button on each artifact. Travelers can use this feature to mark their favorite artifacts and filter by stars to quickly track them down.
Finally, treasure compasses will now be able to locate even more treasure locations, including Sealies and time trial challenges. A quick swap feature will also be added for treasure compasses and Oculus Resonance stones. Enabling this feature will allow travelers to more easily use these devices across regions. The feature will automatically switch to the compass or stone that corresponds to your location in the game.
Awesome!
Be sure to check out future
Break. Anything that you want to... I'm just so excited for...
Bom, galera, é isso. Espero que vocês tenham gostado aí do vídeo. Vou ficando por aqui. Foi uma live mais ou menos, cara. Só mostrou mapa, personagem. O que me interessa é que eu achei dessa live vai ter o Zhong Li, né? Na parte 2, né? Zhong Li e o Neuvillette. Meu God eu já tenho, né? Então, vai pegar o Zhong Li para nerfar o tempo baixo. E é isso. Acho que vou fazer pré-farm pra ele. E é isso. Valeu.